there, I'm Jennifer from my-colorado-kitchen.com. Today we are going to be making the best apple muffins you have ever had. We are going to start by preheating our oven to 400 degrees, and then we're going to grab a smaller bowl and we're going to mix up our dry ingredients. We're going to start by adding 2 cups of organic unbleached all-purpose flour, or at minimum just some unbleached flour. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I post new recipes every week using real ingredients for everyday cooking, and I don't want you to miss out. Next, it's 2 tablespoons of baking powder. I like to use the one with no aluminum added. Then it's a ½ teaspoon salt, and then 2 teaspoons cinnamon. These can be heaping or leveled, whatever you prefer. We're gonna mix those dry ingredients together. I just like to use my little measurer here. You could use a whisk if you would like as well. These muffins are pretty quick, they're easy, they're so delicious, and something you could make. You could make one batch for the week, eat them for the morning, for your breakfast, just a great carb addition. They're made with whole real apples. Then we're gonna set those dry ingredients aside and we're gonna grab another bowl to do our wet ingredients. This time I'm gonna grab a little bit bigger of a bowl because we're going to use this bowl to put all of our ingredients in. I'm gonna start with the wet ingredients with some organic cane sugar. We're just gonna do a ½ cup. And yes, I realize that sugar is pretty dry, but it should go in with your wet ingredients. Next, we're gonna do a ½ cup of coconut sugar. If you don't have coconut sugar, you could use brown sugar, but if you've never used coconut sugar, it's so good and I would highly recommend it. We'll add in a ¼ cup of melted butter. We'll add in 2 eggs. Then it's a ½ cup of Greek yogurt. 1 cup of applesauce. Make sure you get the unsweetened kind, the kind that only has apples as the ingredient. And then it's 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just gonna grab my dough whisk and then mix this all together. Once that's all mixed, we're gonna then add our dry ingredients right into our wet ingredients. Save that bowl, we're gonna use it in just a bit. You're gonna mix those 2 together. You don't wanna over mix at this point, but obviously mix it until it's mixed together. Now you're gonna set your dough aside and we're going to prep our apples. We wanna prep 2 apples, so I'm going to use my apple peeler and corer. You guys, if you don't have one of these, I'll link it in the description below. It's inexpensive. It's one of those tools that you just need because you never know when you're gonna need to peel and core an apple, and this does it so easy. We're gonna use 1 apple inside of our dough in the muffins, and then we're going to use the other apple to put on top. Do you see how easy that was? Then I do still take a knife and I just make sure that I got all of the core out of there, and then we're going to chop these in little pieces, little diced apple pieces. And when that first apple is diced, I'm just gonna add that into my batter. Then I'm gonna chop that second apple. You can use whatever apple is your favorite, but Gala or Fuji are typically super easy to find, and then they hold up pretty well in baking. After that second one is chopped up, you're going to add it into that bowl that I told you to hang on to that had our dry ingredients in it. We're gonna use this to top our muffins. Then we need to stir those apples into our batter. We're just trying to fold them in pretty gently. Once those are folded in, you'll set that aside, grab your other bowl. We're going to put a ½ cup of turbinado sugar into our bowl. I really like to use turbinado sugar because it's a little bit thicker than regular cane sugar, so it holds up, giving that crunch on that top of the muffin. Then we're gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon. We'll take a spoon, we're just gonna stir this together. Once it's stirred, we're gonna set that aside as we get all of that muffin batter in our muffin tins. As you can see, I have 2 different size muffin tins here. We're gonna make some mini muffins, and then we're also going to make some regular size big muffins. You just use the 1 tablespoon scoop for those mini muffins. And then for the mini muffins, we're gonna bake them a little differently. We will start the same, but then we're just gonna reduce the time in baking those. My family loves the mini muffins along with the big muffins, so I like to make both, especially with this exact amount of batter that we have here. For muffins or really anything, I love to use these silicone muffin tins. They are non-stick, they easily help the muffins pop out, and they are perfect so I don't have to use any liners or butter them. Highly, highly recommend them. I will link some in the description below for you. I'll also link these scoops. Now we'll switch to my big muffins. You only want to fill these about 3/4 full. They will rise, so don't fill them too full. The last thing we need to do is we need to top these with our apple and sugar cinnamon mixture, and then we'll pop them in the oven. And once that topping is on, we're going to throw these in the oven at 400 degrees for 8 minutes. And then after that 8 minutes is up, we're going to reduce the heat in the oven to 375 degrees. And then the big ones we're going to bake for 18 to 22 minutes. And the little ones we bake for another 12 to 14 minutes. The reason for the difference in the temperature is so that they get a really, really good rise. So you get those bakery looking muffins that just taste oh so good. And after those timers have gone off, you're gonna pull your muffins out of the oven, and then, oh, they smell so good, you guys. They do not look the prettiest on the actual muffin trays because that sugar and those apples, some of that juice has obviously gone over a little bit, but put these on a cooling rack here in just a couple minutes, and then you'll be perfect. They're amazing, they look great. You could serve them at any of your brunch get-togethers or just for your family to eat during the week, whatever you guys want to do. But these muffins are amazing. I know you will love them just as much as my family does. Thank you guys so much for making some homemade apple muffins with me. If you like this recipe, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and then hit that bell so you never miss a recipe. For the full principal recipe details, I'll link those in the description below, and then they're also on my website at my-colorado-kitchen.com. From my kitchen to yours, happy cooking!